He said, "Hi Craig, do you think Gravenberch and Gay are the answers to tightening the defence, or is it a bigger issue that we should be more concerned about?" It's a really interesting question, and to give this a little plug as well, Chad, we just recorded the next episode of the Anfield Agenda podcast where we discussed this very issue. Speaking with the two lads, and this week it was Connor and Chris, he was unavailable, we were talking about how far forward the fullbacks were, and that is one of the areas for concern here, Chad. If you see the way we got caught out in the 2 goals, a couple of things stood out to me. Firstly, fullbacks very advanced, we know that, but also giving the ball away. And giving the ball away, not protecting it better in the final third is certainly something that Arna will be looking at as an area we can improve in. Ryan Gravenberch coming in will of course help out a lot as well. He will drop back in, split the centre-backs and give us, I guess, a back three when we're in transition. So a couple of bits and pieces, but we do need to be better defensively as well. We can't just shrug our shoulders and say, oh well, we'll be better next time. We need to work it out. We need to figure it out. And Arna's thought, certainly at least in his reaction to Jamie Carragher's thoughts on our defending, said that this is the way we are going to play. We are going to be that advanced. We are going to push forward that much. It's a risky philosophy, but if we look at Paris Saint-Germain as an example last year and the way that they play, it isn't a million miles removed from what Arna is trying to do. I guess, do we have the personnel to do it? I think yes, we do, but obviously having no Ryan in there, for me, Chad, was a big factor in why we looked so exposed. David said, "Evening Craig and community, I also worry if Grav gets injured." I can understand why. I would dare to say, actually, do you know what? Let's ask the chat this, because I think it's a really good point that a lot of people have an opinion on, so bear with me. So, are you worried we're in trouble if Ryan Gravenberch gets an injury? Yes or no? Because this is a tricky one for me to answer. Because in one sense, I can understand that we have enough bodies in midfield, but we don't have enough specialists in that position. So what I was looking to hear, David, from Arna in pre-season or over the summer was that somebody, be that Stefan Bajcetic, Trey Leone, or Tyler Morton, somebody was going to be given the role of being the deputy in that position, because I don't think that Endo can play it in the way that we want to play it. I've been at pains to say this many times. So I totally understand if people think we're in trouble, because we probably would be screwed if we had an injury to Ryan Gravenberch. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, you could say the same for Manchester City and Rodri, and you could say the same for other clubs with their key holding midfielders, but we should be looking to have another body in there, if nothing else, for rotation, same as every other area of the pitch, that Arna can put somebody in there to play the role. And yes, it might not be up to the very same standards that Ryan Gravenberch can play it, but at least rhythmically, or the way that we play, it wouldn't change things too much. And yeah, so it's a very fair point, and I think it'll be interesting to see what the chat react to it with the poll. Francis said, "Jones is the man who has it to cover DCM." Not for me. Not for me. Jones is a well-rounded midfield player that can do a good few things. I just don't see him as the number 6. Maybe Arna does, maybe you're right, but I would dare to say if he did really see Jones in that position, then we would have seen Curtis Jones playing against Bournemouth on Friday night when we didn't have Ryan Gravenberch, but he went correctly, in my opinion, for Alexis McAllister. So yeah, I think that maybe puts to bed the whole idea of Arna thinking Jones is the guy in the 6 if Ryan isn't there, because he didn't pick him. Joseph said, "The way PSG play, their fullbacks are similar to us." 100%. And Arna was kind of at pains last season to tell us about his admiration for Paris Saint-Germain. And yeah, they do, as you said, mate. They're wide players. Their fullback / wing backs are, look at Hakimi's wing position. It's really advanced. So understand that, but you do still need the shield in there in Gravenberch, because Canare was left to cover a lot of ground. DJ said, "Missing out on Isak and Gay means a title challenge and domestic trophy is a successful season. Won't have the depth to compete in the Prem and the Champions League." So we made our predictions on the podcast, and I don't want to give them all away, but I had us not winning the league this year. I don't know why, my gut feeling is we win the Champions League and finish second in the league. But if we don't get... See, Gay, I understand if we had a Canada extension. Now, I'd love a world where we bring Mark Gay in and sign Canady as well, and we have both as options. That would be incredible. But I just don't see it as a realistic one at the minute, DJ. So I'm relaxed on the centre back as long as we get a confirmed resolution that Canade signed an extension and we know what the future is there, or that Mark Gay gets brought in. The striker one is the one that I think is somewhat out of our control at the minute, and hence the reason I'm feeling a bit more nervy about that. A week ago, I was saying we need to get in a centre-back, and we did. We brought in Giovanni Leone, and that was very welcome anyway from me. But yeah, still have business to do and 2 weeks to do it. The Chosen One said, after the Newcastle game, we will only have 6 days left to get Isak and Gay. We won't have time. This week is huge. Clock's definitely ticking. Clock is definitely ticking, my friend. Like you said, 6 days left. Now, I think we can get the Mark A one done this week if we wanted to. I do think that we could make that move along. Because think about it this way, right? Crystal Palace will also have to get a centre-back. So if they sell us Mark A, they need time to go into the market as well to do that. So I do think that situation we can kick along a little bit quicker. But I've been thinking about what is actually going to happen there. Like, I can't be in my own and thinking that some of the media coverage and the briefings around the Mark A situation, I find a little bit confusing, right? So we had Steve Parish. I think he was speaking with Cave Solacol when they were at the Court of Arbitration for Sport. I think it was that time where he said basically a club like Crystal Palace can't afford to let a player like Mark A walk out the door for free. Now here we are a week or so later, and a lot of the coverage has been, well, Steve Parish would rather let him go for free than take 5 or 10 million quid less than he wants because Crystal Palace can't be seen to be weak. I don't buy it. I don't. It doesn't make any sense because let's play out this scenario. Steve Parish says Crystal Palace can't be weak. We must be seen to be strong in the market. I'm keeping Mark A for the season. Cool. Season ends and what happens? Mark A walks out the door for free and you, as the chairman, still have to go to the board and find 20, 25, 30, 35 million pound to replace him. Why would you intentionally have a 70 million pound swing negatively on your books as a chairman? It doesn't make any sense to me, and I can't for the life of me see why anybody's given this any airtime. Steve Parish has to sell Mark A. It is as simple as that. And if Mark A has made it known that Liverpool are where he wants to go, and Liverpool are in conversations as per Sammy Mockbell and a few others today, there's only one way that can end up, and that is with Liverpool getting him for a price that Steve Parish probably isn't overly happy with, but a price that is reflected by the situation we're in. Don't see a world where he lets him go for free because, you know, if we were talking about Canade here as an example, you could say to me, hang on, Craig, I think that if we kept Canade for the year, that might be the difference between us winning the Champions League, qualifying for the Champions League, or getting an extra trophy. That in itself might be worth the money. And I'd say, fair enough. But you can't make that argument with Crystal Palace. They're not going to get relegated. So is keeping Mark A really going to be the difference of 30, 35 million quid for them? I just can't see it. So again, all signs point to him going if Liverpool really come to the table with a bid. That's the way I see it anyway. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. Would you renew Endo's contract? I don't know off the top of my head how long Endo has left. Was it a 3-4 year deal he signed when he came in? Would I renew it? No, I wouldn't. Don't need to. That's, you know, let's be honest, he's not going to be playing for us 35, 36, 37, so no, I wouldn't.